Okay, welcome to the franchise. We're covering a new franchise today. I mean, it's not new. It came out in 2002, still exists to this day. I'll be your host, the Diarrhea Train, Daniel Ehrenberg, and over there's Logan.
Hi, I'm Logan Adair, and welcome to the franchise. I thought you were going to start with that.
Oh, yeah, right. Hey, I'm Dan Ehrenberg. This is the franchise.
Yeah.
Right?
It seems
That's
so
how you
obvious
start.
to me. I'm actually
Yeah,
pretty surprised.
you're right. I fucked that up.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Jackass. That's what we're doing today. Jackass, the movies. There was a TV show. We're not going to cover that, but they then adapted that TV show into a series of movies. I can't believe they're still putting out these movies in 2023.
Yeah. A little like the Flintstones, right? Was a TV show. Then they were like, we got to make a movie.
Yeah, but this was different, man, because the Flintstones was capturing a nostalgia boom. This was coming right on the heels of the show. So Jackass was a show on MTV in the late 90s. Did you watch it? You were young. You were like a kid.
Yeah, I had an older sister, though, 7 years older than me. I definitely watched it. Not every episode, but I've seen it for sure.
I watched it in passing. I was never a Jackass guy. I was way more of a Tom Green guy at the time.
They were competing?
In my mind, they were. I don't think they were actually. I think they were like on TV at the same time on MTV. And a lot of people said Jackass was really good. And I was always just like, it's not as good as Tom Green. Because you know what it was? Bam Margera was one of the Jackass guys, and he was always doing pranks on his parents.
Yeah. And
that was a big Tom Green thing at the time. And I thought the Tom Green shit was funnier. So I was like, who's this Bam guy?
Does he have better
Tom
parents?
Yeah, he's got like more normal parents. Like they react like real parents.
They react like real parents.
Nah, they don't. I mean, like
they have a shithead son. They're pissed off all the time.
They're not pissed off all the time. They're willing to go along with it. They know what this is. Like Tom Green did it when he was still shooting like a public access show in Canada. Like they had no idea anything would become of this. So it literally is just like a kid fucking with his parents horribly. And I love
Canadian, so they got to be a little nice about it.
I mean, they are. They're a little more polite about it, maybe. I mean, these are like American weirdos. Like Bam's parents, like it's like a giant fat guy and like his crazy wife.
I hope you're not gonna like shit on them the whole time.
Am I shitting on them now?
You're not talking highly of them.
I mean, what have I said that's wrong?
You said she was annoying or something just now?
Crazy.
I think she's very insane.
Okay. All right. So Jackass, I had a chip on my shoulder because I was a Tom Green fan, like an idiot. And so I only watched it in passing. But then when the movies came out, it was pretty undeniable. And what this did instead of the Flintstones, which is capturing a nostalgia boom, was the movie came out like right at the height of popularity of the show. And they weren't going to keep doing the show anymore. The idea was this movie is like the series finale of the show. It's going to wrap it up. We're going to do all the shit we were never able to do on the show. And then that'll be that. We'll all move on. Johnny Knoxville will be an actor. He'll be in the Rock movies. And the rest of them are all going to have spin-offs on MTV.
Right.
Yeah. Wild Boys.
You think we'll ever see one in the Big Brother
Viva
house?
Viva la Bam.
Danger Aaron, you think we'll ever see him in the BB house?
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more of these guys doing shit like that.
What about Ryan Dunn? You think he'll ever pop up on?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
I was right. I see. I wasn't sure about that. This was a little sad. Like a few of these dudes are gone now.
But no, only Ryan's done.
No, like only Ryan's dead, but a few of these guys are gone.
I didn't know that.
I mean, let's go through the crew, right?
Yeah.
So the main guy is Johnny
Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville, and he's had the best career of any of them.
Real name Philip something.
I didn't know that. Johnny Knoxville is such a great stage name. I always just assumed that was his name.
It's just because he's like from Tennessee, so they call him Johnny Knoxville.
I love that. Johnny Knoxville. That's so clever.
Yeah. Better worse than Johnny Bananas.
It's better than that. It's like Johnny Drip Drip, John Morrison from WWE. But so he's the guy, and I always thought he was cool. Like, even
Yeah.
when I was like a Tom Green nerd and like I was thinking these guys were ripoffs, I was like, that guy's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always seemed like someone you'd want to be. Like, he probably gets laid a lot. He's probably just like awesome to hang out with. He just comes across like the coolest dude.
Can I tell you, like, I read an oral history about all of them.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, for this.
I'm excited.
It was like how they all met.
I love oral histories.
Yeah, you do? As opposed to anal histories?
Yeah, I've read oral histories of any. Like, if you give me an oral history of some shit I do not fucking care about, I will read it just because I like the format of oral histories.
Well, the anal history joke, that was a joke Knoxville made in the oral history, by the way.
Oh, very funny.
They said, like, I don't remember the exact details really, but they were working at a magazine. There was like a magazine for like
Big
skaters. Big Brother. Yeah, Big Brother.
Mhm.
For skater bros. I think Jeff Tremaine was there, and
Yep.
maybe somebody else started there. But everyone was like, "Oh, I got to work for this magazine."
Spike
They're
Jonze,
doing
too.
like, yeah, Spike Jonze. By the way, there's another guy. Is his name Mike Lee? Is that the guy who made
Mike Lee, the guy that made like Mr. Turner and
Oh,
Topsy Turvy.
sorry. The guy who made what's that fucking movie called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Office Space.
Mike Judge.
Mike Judge. He's in 2.5, so they're friends with that guy too.
Well, I think they got a start. They did a lot of stuff in like Austin and shit, where Mike Judge is from.
Anyway, so they made this thing. They had that magazine. All the guys basically wanted to work at the magazine. Knoxville was doing like some crazy stuntman stuff, and they were like, "All right, this is fun." And then
that magazine regularly put out visual mixtapes of like skaters falling down and shit. I used to watch like bootlegs of them in the 90s.
Okay, and then they knew Bam, like Bam's crew, CKY stood for Camp Kill Yourself. That was like a
I
thing
didn't know that.
over in Pennsylvania. So they were like, "Bam, you and your crew should come shoot some stuff with us," and then that became a thing. And then
And then that launched into the TV version.
Yeah,
but it was a direct spin-off of that just like skater magazine. It's true. So Johnny is our main guy. We love him. He's got gray hair now. He plays Donatello in a Ninja Turtles movie. He's fully been mainstreamized. Okay. Next, we've got Steve-O.
I made all these guys Lord of the Rings characters, by the way.
What are you talking about?
Because there's 9 of them, and there are 9 members of the Fellowship in Lord of the Rings. Do you remember the Fellowship?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this because, and I'll tell you why. Because I found out in my research that when Jackass came out, it was nominated for Best On-Screen Team at the MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah.
And they lost to Elijah Wood and Sean Astin for Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
That's a duo, not a team.
Well, they're a great team. And, they were able to get Gollum all the way to Mordor. Right?
There are team challenges and there are duo seasons of the challenge, right? Yeah. I think there's a very distinct difference.
That was something I thought about while I was watching the show. Like, the challenge was on MTV at this time. Like, when Jackass collapsed, why didn't any of like the minor Jackass guys go to the challenge?
They weren't doing that yet, were they?
But they should have, man. Like, MTV was pulling from all corners at a certain point. When they started pulling from like,
then.
But when they started pulling from Are You the One, they couldn't have just called like some of these minor, like the one dude with one tooth. He could have been on the challenge.
Aaron, I don't know how fair Aaron would have done. What about Preston? He'd be hard to take out in some of those challenges.
Yeah, put Preston in there.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Put Wee Man in there.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'd be fun to see like CT get into a fight with Wee Man.
Yeah. All right. Johnny Knoxville is Gandalf, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Duh. All
right. Yeah.
All right. So Steve-O, he's my second favorite, probably. He's been a sort of live wire over the years. He seemed to be having like issues with drugs for a while, but he like
surprised he's alive.
Yeah, me too. But he's like the one of these dudes that actually got his shit together. I think he's been sober for a few years now.
Yeah, I love Steve-O.
Yeah, I listened to him on a podcast called Who Charted, and he was unlistenable. He just yapped for an hour and a half straight about the dumbest shit. Like, this guy, I mean, his brain is poor.
His brain is poor.
His brain works worse than humans normally, but
It makes sense.
but I love him, and he really is like. I mean, he's what this shit was made for. There's shit he does in Jackass too. Like a lot of the shit I watch Jackass, and I'm like, if I was getting paid, I would do a lot of this. But there are like 3 different things he does in Jackass 2 that you could not fucking pay me to do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I saw your letterbox review. I definitely agree with the few examples you said.
He put a fish hook through his cheek.
The butt chug you would do?
I don't know if I would do that either.
Cena did it. He got paid for it.
John Cena?
John Cena.
He did a butt chug?
In the movie Blockers.
Why isn't that called Cock Blockers?
Come on, they can't do that.
It drives me nuts. Remember they had a little picture of a rooster in the ads?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit. This fucking puritanical society we live in. All right. So that's Steve-O. He's
Aragorn, by the way.
Which one's that? Vigo?
Vigo. He was the one that really couldn't fit. I thought to do this because Dave England and Aaron, I always got confused when I was younger. And they remind me of Merry and Pippin.
Yeah, for sure. They're the Merry and Pippin.
And so I was like, I wonder if the other people can fit. And I started doing it, and they all sort of fit pretty well. Except for Steve-O.
All right, where's Bam Margera?
He's Frodo, and Ryan Dunn is Sam. They're best friends.
Bam's the guy I can't look at anymore in real life. Like,
because he's fat now?
No, I'm just waiting for him to die.
Yeah, he's the one we're going to lose.
He's got to just... He's never going to get his shit together.
He's not in the fourth one,
I want him to get his shit together. I used to... Yeah, he's not in the fourth one. I used to root for Bam Margera to get his shit together. Viva La Bam was probably the best of those spinoffs. But, I mean, the last I saw him, like when I cut bait, like I was like, it's too depressing to keep up with this guy anymore. He like posted some sort of like Instagram live or something, and he was like complaining in his kitchen about how the Jackass guys weren't putting him in the fourth movie, except in the middle of the complaint, every so often, he would pause just for a second, turn around, and vomit in his sink.
Oh my God.
And then he would keep talking. I mean, the guy is... He's a low bottom alcoholic, and I don't know he's going to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, you're rooting for him to die. I'm rooting for him to live.
I hope he does. Listen, I've been rooting for him to live for years, and I'm a guy that got through it. I was a low bottom alcoholic. I know it's possible, but I worry about these guys that have a lot of money.
But listen, if he wanted to get sober, wouldn't it have been for Jackass 4 when they're offering him a bunch of money?
You'd think so, man.
That would be enough for me, probably.
I know. It wasn't enough for him. He could not get sober for that movie. I mean, and when it's the Jackass guys, like your friends are the Jackass guys, and they're like, you're a nut, you got to get sober. You should listen.
Yes. You lost your best friend in a drunk driving accident.
Is that how Ryan Dunn died?
Yeah.
Man, Ryan
He
Dunn
killed his passenger, too.
Oh, that's sad. Really? Who was that guy?
I don't know.
Can I...
I mean, you're not going to know who it is.
Yeah, but
I feel like it was just a guy.
I lost my phone.
You want me to look it up? Who we are?
I was gonna look it up, but I lost my phone. Ryan Dunn. I mean, I was sad when that happened, but to be honest, I hadn't watched Jackass in years at that point.
His name was Zachary Hartwell,
and I didn't even remember who Ryan Dunn was. Like when I heard Ryan Dunn died, I had to look it up because I remember Johnny, Bam, Steve-O, Wee Man. To a lesser degree, Chris Pontius, that name stuck with me. Mm-hmm. But Ryan Dunn didn't stick with me. And it's surprising, actually, because he's a huge part of this, watching the first 2 movies.
Wait, you said you don't remember Ryan Dunn?
I didn't when I first heard he died.
Oh, I always love Ryan. I always like their friendship, Ryan Dunn and Bam.
Yeah, they're nice. It is sweet. And, I mean, that's a bummer that he died. Sorry, here it is right now.
Pontius, I always like how
he was with a production assistant, dude. He was with a PA from Jackass 2.
Really?
Yeah, and they were driving around in his Porsche in Westchester, New York.
You said episode 2.5 Men, where Alan, was that the brother's name?
Yeah.
he keeps calling it Porsche, and Charlie's like, "Hey, bro, you're gay. You're supposed to say Porsche. Only gay people and
Yeah,
women say
that's super
Porsche."
gay. No, that's actually not true. Portia is just the pronunciation of that.
I know. I'm just
So Two and a Half
referencing a Two and
Men's
a Half Men
pretty dumb.
episode.
There's a great episode of Friends where Joey, there's like a Porsche that just like parks outside of Joey's apartment, and he starts to pretend it's him to get it's his to pretend to get girls. So he's just
Yeah.
like washing a random Porsche on the street. I always like that.
There's a Big Brother 13 contestant named Portia, so get pumped.
Oh yeah, Ellen's wife is named Porsche.
No, not her.
Okay. So is she black?
Nope.
Really? There was a Porsche on a reality show I watched. She was a black lady.
Nope.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Blonde
stuff.
white lady.
Looking forward to BB13. All right. So yeah, that's poor Ryan Dunn. He I mean, do we say when your recklessness murders somebody, do you say poor guy? I mean, I'm sad the guy's dead, but like that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you still say so.
Do you know Roger Ebert, when he died, tweeted something? I don't know if it was on Twitter. He said something like, friends don't let jackasses drive. And then people were like, hey, fuck you, Roger Ebert. Why are you saying that?
Yeah, I get it. Roger's at a point in that he's like on his way to death, and he's like, no one will care if I joke about one of the Jackass guys dying, right?
They did care.
Yeah, they super cared. They super cared. But whatever, he's dead now. No one's giving. I mean, except for you, nobody's giving Roger Ebert shit about that anymore.
Yeah. And by the way, the 4 people in my Lord of the Rings thing you could swap around were Bam, Ryan, Steve-O, and Chris. And I thought you could make Bam Aragorn and Ryan Boromir because Boromir's the one that died. But then I was like, no, that's Brian Porte. So I just made them Frodo and Sam because they're BFFs.
Man, I gotta say, I was interested in this at first, and it is rapidly losing my interest.
It worked better as a tweet with just the photos.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So this first Jackass movie, they're trying to wrap up the show. That's what it's supposed to be. It's going to be like the ultimate Jackass. Everything you ever wanted to see that we haven't been able to do, here it's coming. They get Jeff Tremaine. Can I find my phone? All right. So Jeff Tremaine, he's going to be the director here.
He's Tolkien. I made that up just now.
Who's Spike?
I guess Peter Jackson.
Who's Spike Jonze? Is he Peter Jackson?
Spike Jonze is.
I think
Liv
Spike
Tyler.
Jonze is Tolkien, and Jeff Tremaine's Peter Jackson.
Right. Yes. Right.
All right. So Spike Jonze, of course, one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. He always legitimized Jackass for me. Like even when I wasn't as into Jackass, I was always like, yeah, but Jackass is smarter than other shit like this because Spike Jonze is involved.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. Because, I mean, this was coming out the same time. Like, this movie, Jackass, the movie, came out the same year Spike Jonze wrote and directed adaptation. Like, won an Oscar.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Or actually, I think Charlie Kaufman won an Oscar, but he deserved one too. And he's producing this movie. But the director's a fellow named Jeff Tremaine who worked on the Big Brother crew. He's mostly spent his career making Jackass shit.
Yeah, good for him. What a career.
Yeah, he's devoted his life to it. The only thing I've seen of his that's not Jackass is that movie The Dirt, which is like a biopic of Motley Crue.
By the way, we should say last week we forgot to mention Dirty Grandpa, but Bad Grandpa, but we will be doing that.
So dumb. I can't believe I forgot about that. That is a full Jackass movie. It's Jackass Presents Dirty Grandpa, and we will of course
Bad Grandpa.
Oh yeah,
Aubrey Plaza.
See, I always knew the difference, but you fucked me up recently because you made me watch that Bad Grandpa movie.
Well, I fucked it up just now also. So,
but I never screwed that up until I saw that movie like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we'll get used to it.
You screwed me up, man. Dirty Grandpa is the one with Johnny Knoxville as Irving.
No, that's Bad Grandpa.
What?
Dirty Grandpa is Aubrey Plaza, Zac Efron, and De Niro.
All right, Dirty Grandpa is the one where Robert De Niro fucks Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
Bad Grandpa is the one with Johnny Knoxville in old age. So it's Jackass presents Bad Grandpa.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a skit in the second movie called Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, actually the character showed up in both of these movies, which
from the very
surprised me. And he is credited directly as Bad Grandpa in the second one.
Yep, that's right.
I noticed.
I don't know if that was a thing from the show or not either. Possibly.
I don't remember, but to me, it's the best. I think it's the best thing they do. Bad Grandpa might be my favorite Jackass movie.
I mean, we'll get there.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, have we done the whole crew? There's Wee Man.
No,
He's tiny.
He's Gimli. Come on. And Preston is Legolas. They have like the same dynamic, how they sort of like tease each other, right? He's always chasing him, right?
Which one's Preston?
He's the big fat guy.
Oh, yeah, big fat guy.
They sort of have that dynamic of Legolas and Gimli.
You need a big fat guy, right?
You need a big
I feel
fat
like
guy.
back then you needed a big fat guy and you needed a dwarf.
I like him. He does a lot of talking in 2.5, and he's like, seems like a nice, cool guy.
Who, Wee Man?
Preston.
I liked Wee Man.
I love all these guys.
I know, but like I think at the time I just thought it seemed like they were making fun of Wee Man to me, like when I originally watched the show.
So.
But watching it back, it just seems like he's like pals with them.
Yeah, I love all their voices. Like they're all like such like bros from California. Well, except I guess Knoxville, Bam.
It reminds me a little bit of the argument I made. Remember when Henry had us watch The Trip?
Yes.
Okay, so my reaction to watching those Trip movies was it was like a couple years after the whole Trump thing, and he was saying like his argument for like the grab them by the pussy conversation was like, this is how men talk. This is locker room talk. When men are talking to each other, this is how they sound. And my argument was The Trip is really how men sound. Like if you want to know how men talk to each other, watch that movie, The Trip. But like this is a good example.
I prefer The Ticket.
What's that?
That's the Seinfeld sequel to The Trip. Remember they had a 2-part episode, The Trip and The Ticket?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. That's a good call. That's the one with like the Smog Strangler, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I believe they think Kramer's he goes to prison because they think he's the Smog Strangler.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Good stuff. All right. But how did I get on that? Oh, The Trip. Right. So I always thought that's how dudes really interact. Like that's how people talk to each other. It's just like pop culture references and giving each other shit. And to me, Jackass is like a big group of guys together. Like a big group of guys
but they're so comfortable
can get
together.
Grosser and dumber, but there's still such a jocularity to this group. Like everyone just likes each other. No one's ever tearing each other down on Jackass. They are literally like, these are pranks. Everything is good natured.
There was one moment in is it the first or second one when they're shaving everybody's head? It's the first one.
I love that bit.
They shave Wee Man's head and he looks so pissed. Like it's the one moment where somebody actually looks mad.
No,
and I guess
it happens a couple of times. Yeah. Bam, when he's like, when he goes.
Wait till the third one. Do you remember the third one?
No.
The whole thing. Oh, there's a great. Bam gets so pissed in the third one. Like, yeah.
Well, in the second one, there's one where like Bam like. He goes and he hides out by like standing on top of like a production trailer. He's like, you can't fuck with me up here. And I always felt like that was him. Like, I've lost it. I just need to I need you to stop fucking with me.
Bam in the second movie, by the way, is fully in like his like scarf and fingerless glove era. He's fully the Bam that I know in Jackass 2.
Bam,
and he's drunk the whole time.
Yeah. Bam is such a bummer because you watch him in these first two movies. I forgot how good looking he is.
Ryan Dunn too.
I mean, Ryan Dunn just looks like a surfer dude to me. He looks fine, but like
the second one, he's got like the longer hair and the big beard. He looks cool.
I think Bam Margera looks like a fucking heartthrob though. Like you could throw this guy on like the cover of like a fashion magazine. Like
I feel like my sister liked Bam.
He looks like fucking Justin Bobby from the Hills.
Sure.
You don't remember Justin Bobby?
No. You ever play Tony Hawk's Underground 2?
All the time.
That was the one with the Jackass guys. You like it's like the Jackass version of that game where you like throw tomatoes and run around and do all that shit. And you can play as Wee Man.
That's man, I don't know that I ever did do that. I remember you could play as Django Fett.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I used to fucking skateboard as Django Fett, and he would like pull out his blaster and take some shots.
You could be Eric Costin. He's in these movies, or at least one of them.
Who was that?
They like grind a rail at one point. Knoxville does, and he's like the guy demonstrating.
Well, there's a lot of that. Yeah, like Matt Hoffman shows up a bunch.
Oh my God, Matt Hoffman,
head of
not
Hoffman.
the BB-12.
No, the famous
Love Island
BMXer.
guy
The famous
with the
BMXer. Jeff Tremaine actually did a 30 for 30 about that guy. Yeah, for ESPN. There's one called The Birth of Big Air that's about Matt Hoffman's.
Is that the most famous name that we know, Matt Hoffman?
Tony Hawk.
There are 3 examples of it.
Oh, the most famous, like just because there's 3 famous people named Matt Hoffman?
Like quantity over quality?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the famous BMXer, the
Love
guy from Big Brother, and the narrator of
your
Love
friend.
Island USA, who went to high school with my sister. Yeah.
3 of them.
Crazy.
Tell me another name where there's 3 famous.
There's got to be another one, right?
I can't think of any.
There's got to be like a really simple one. You know what I mean?
Maybe one where there's like an alternate version. Somebody like took their name to be a porn star, right? 'Cause sometimes that happens. Sometimes someone will steal a name to be a porn star.
Right now, there's a porn girl named Sky Blue and a wrestler girl named Sky Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, if you look at the wrestler, you might not know whether she's the wrestler or the porn girl.
There was also Dakota Kai and Dakota Sky. Remember her?
Who's Dakota Sky?
I don't want to bum out the podcast, but remember she killed herself?
No. Who's Dakota Sky?
Come on. You told me about this. Look
what?
Her up. You found your phone. Dakota Sky. Skai.
And I told you about this?
You like sent me the thing when it happened. You were like, oh, damn.
Dakota Sky.
You'll know it when you see it.
Will I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do. I forgot she passed.
Yeah.
Oh, poor girl. She had that great piercing right above her cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that one where she was... I liked that one where she was asking her stepdad for concert tickets, and she gave him a blowjob.
Did she specify what concert?
No, I believe it was just concert tickets.
Gotta go to Green Day.
Okay. Gotta go to this great concert, huh?
Mike Kim's playing down the street.
It would be, man. Run into Kevin Smith at that show. All right. You want to hear about some of the awards Jackass was nominated for?
Yeah.
All right. So Jackass the movie, the original, all lowercase, came out October 25th, 2002. I was in high school. I feel like I
was 4.
I feel like I should have seen it. Like, people in my high school were into this.
What do you mean, all lowercase? What did that mean?
That's how the title was stylized when it came out. Like, it was every time it was advertised, you'd never see an uppercase J. It was always lowercase. Jackass the movie, all lowercase.
Okay, but like on IMDb, it's capital, right?
I don't know, man. In the reviews at the time, they lowercased it.
Okay, I didn't notice it. Usually I notice weird title stuff. I didn't notice anything.
Well, you stick with me, man. I know this shit. October 25th, I skipped it. I was too fucking smart for it, but then like it came out on video and I rented it. It was great. Mm-hmm. It would cost $5 million to make. It made $79.5 million at the box office. It was the number 45 movie of 2002 domestically, coming in between Stuart Little 2 and The Time Machine, which is a movie I saw in theaters.
All right.
I saw The Time Machine instead of Jackass the movie.
I've seen Stuart Little 2 more times than Jackass.
And you might think that makes me smart to go see an H.G. Wells adaptation instead of Jackass the movie, but let me tell you, Jackass the movie is a much better movie than that fucking H.G. Wells bullshit. Yeah.
What do you think Raj thought of that H.G. Wells movie?
I don't think he liked it. I think he had my back on that one. It's a bad adaptation.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
What do you think you thought of Stuart Little 2?
Stuart Little 2. I mean, Stuart Little's terrible.
All right. What else was he nominated for?
All right. What? Do you not agree? Are you a big Stuart Little guy?
No, I love Stuart Little.
Okay. John MTV.
Margalo? You kidding me?
Obviously, the MTV Awards nominated the Jackass.
I want my MTV.
Yeah, they were airing them at the time, so why not nominate them?
Yeah.
In fact, they weren't nominated for any MTV Awards for Jackass 2, and I was like,
Oh.
what the fuck was MTV doing?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe they didn't have the rights anymore.
Do they still do that? MTV Awards?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You want to talk about this year's? We could do
No.
we could do an award bros.
Not right now.
Okay. So MTV nominated Johnny Knoxville, not his real name. He's just from Knoxville, Tennessee, and his name's Johnny Knoxville. That's so funny. And he was nominated for Best Comedic Performance in a Movie. And he lost to Mike Myers for Austin Powers in Goldmember.
All right. Like maybe he didn't win prior to that.
A gold. I
There's a
want
makeup
gold.
to him.
He only won because of the Goldmember character. That character was so beloved. We all loved that character at the time.
Then give it to her, not him.
What?
I thought you meant Cleopatra, whatever her name is.
Beyonce?
Yeah, I thought you meant Beyonce.
No, man. I don't think
his name's Philip John Clapp, by the way, Johnny Knoxville.
Phil Clapp? That's
Phil
his name?
Clapp. Yep.
It's a good name, too. That annoys me. That annoys me when people with good names change their names to even cooler names. Like, leaves me. I could be Johnny Knoxville. Daniel Ehrenberg sucks. Be Phil Clapp. I prefer to be Phil Clapp to Daniel Ehrenberg.
What happened to that?
What, when I was going to change my name to Daniel Berg?
Yeah, why'd that fall through?
Because first of all, I didn't like it. It felt to me like I was erasing my Jewish heritage, and I didn't like that. But also, it was just a weird thing. Like, I did that when I was like 13 years old, just because I thought like a lot of my favorite guys had 3-syllable names, like Peter Berg and Kevin Smith and shit. So I was like, I'll be Daniel Berg.
Peter Berg was one of your favorite guys?
Yeah, I was a big fan of that dude for a while.
All right, Wes Craven. That has 3 syllables.
Wes Craven. That's another one. Yeah. Good call. All right, so this was also nominated for the best fight of the year. Butterbean beating up
wow.
Johnny Knoxville.
I guess the winner? Gotta be obvious.
Go ahead.
Spider-Man and Gabi?
No, you're fucking wrong, dude. I got an even better one for you. How about Yoda Dooku?
That's bullshit. That's
Jumping around, man.
I forgot about Star Wars. Damn, this is a huge year. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, Jackass, the big four, the Mount Rushmore.
That is the franchise Mount Rushmore for sure.
That is a big year though. Mm-hmm. Fast and Furious? Oh, that was the year before, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. That was a yawn. Hey, the Razzies.
It's the raspberries, no razzmatazz. Well, all we're lacking is a little pizzazz, 'cause it's the golden raspberries. It's the worst of the worst, not the best of the best. It's pizzazz gone raz.
They gave this movie an award.
Yeah, which one?
They invented one for this. I hate the Razzies. I don't know why we talk. I'm gonna stop talking about the Razzies. They gave it most flatulent teen targeted movie.
And that's new just for this?
Yeah, I think it was just like, we've got to acknowledge how many times these teens are farting in movies these days.
What else was even nominated?
Oh, that's a good question. You want me to look that up?
Yeah, was it just this one?
These are the movies that beat out for most flatulent teen targeted movie. Crossroads with Britney Spears, which frankly I don't remember there being any farts in. 8 Crazy Nights, the animated Adam Sandler movie, that had a lot of farts. Scooby-Doo was full of farts. Yeah, that maybe should have won. That was a very flatulent film. And then Triple X. I don't remember there being farts in Triple X.
Wow, I figured they'd say that for the Ice Cube one.
Yeah, Triple X State of the Poonion.
Yeah. Oh, great job.
Yeah,
great job.
Nice. Great job. But Jackass was the most flatulent movie. And I will say there is a lot of flatulence, and I don't do well with flatulence. Flatulence grosses me out.
What is that? Is that poop?
It's farts.
Farts.
Yeah, but farts and poop generally gross me out. I want to steer clear of them mostly.
There's a part in Do you remember the part in one of these movies where Knoxville is the old man, Zisman? He farts in Tremaine's face and it does the little poof. It does the little they were trying to get that going forever. They were trying to make it happen. And in 2.5, they show a skit where Wee Man was a little baby, and they were Knoxville was trying to powder his butt, and he was supposed to fart and make a little poof, but he ended up pooping. And Knoxville, I was like, "You bastard!" and kicked him off.
Well, that happens a lot on the show. I feel like a lot of times they plan fart jokes, and it turns into someone pooping. Like they did the thing in Jackass 2 where Steve-O wore the fart helmet.
Yeah,
which I hated.
Why? That's a great one.
It's a great one, but it's so fucking gross. It's like
it's not gross till he vomits.
Well, but he vomits instantly. He's wearing like basically a fishbowl around his head, like a fucking astronaut, and it's
like the MTV guy.
Yeah, and it's like a funnel that's attached to the tube, and so you're getting whatever comes down the pike. And so they get a big fat guy. What's
Preston?
That guy?
Preston's just letting
right?
loose on the other end.
But he poops. They
did he?
tell him to just fart, but then at the end of the scene, they show the fucking funnel, and there's a piece of shit in it.
I thought they were showing the vomit. I didn't catch that.
These guys are constantly intending to fart into stuff and then pooping. It is disgusting.
I love when Dave poops,
no humans have shit in more places other than a toilet than in these Jackass movies.
Yeah. What about Dave though? Dave does it. Dave is like an art to it.
Dave Mira?
no, Dave England. He does it in the department store, but he fucks up and does it in the car first. That's probably the best part of the entire movie, right?
Oh yeah, well, he shits himself in the car before he gets in.
Funny.
That is another thing that's just so gross. Like I love the idea of that. Yeah, we're gonna go into like a plumbing supply store and like find a toilet that's not connected to anything. We're just gonna take a shit. Like that's a good bit, but like the idea that they show him. He like needed to eat a lot, like so he's ready to shit.
He's been holding it.
Yeah, and he just shits his pants before they get there. There's too much pants shitting in these movies.
What about in the second one when they show maybe the funniest visual I've ever seen in my entire life? They show the close up of that doll house, the bathroom.
Oh my god!
You just see a bunch of shit fall in the toilet.
I did laugh at that. I mean, it's disgusting, but I did laugh out loud at that. Like I can't deny it.
Yeah.
All right.
He revealed, by the way, in 2.5 that he can shit on demand, and he was like, "I didn't know other people couldn't do that. I just thought that that was a thing everybody could do."
Who can do that?
Dave England. He said it's just a thing he can do.
That seems crazy to me. Yeah.
I guess that's how he like pooped so much in the van, and then that same day went to that department store and still finished the skit.
The move would my move would be I just wouldn't shit for like 2 days. And then I would take up weed gummy.
Yeah, that does it?
Yeah.
Relaxes your bowels?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Or drink a Dr. Pepper. I remember when I used to drink Dr. Pepper, that would like destroy me. That was like bad stuff. Don't drink Dr. Pepper.
I drink Dr. Pepper all the time, so it doesn't affect me that way.
Really?
Yeah. Dr. Pepper is my favorite soda, probably.
What? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you even drank that.
Well, I don't a lot because I tend to drink diet shit, but
space shit.
Yeah, but if we're really gonna like sit down here and I'm gonna like rank the best sodas, number 1 is Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I used to have a T-shirt that said Dr. Pepper on it, and I didn't like to wear it because I didn't want people to think I thought I was like the Dr. Pepper.
Was it the logo?
Yeah.
I don't think they would think that then.
Yeah, that's what people used to tell me, but I had this weird thing in my brain. like I hated wearing that shirt because it felt like hubristic of me. Like I thought I was Dr. Pepper.
I thought you meant it was just like normal font that said Dr. Pepper. But then they might think you were Dr. Pepper. But if it was the logo, I don't think that they would ever think that.
No, it was just the logo. But I had like a weird thing about it. All right. Teen Choice Awards also nominated this movie for one award, Best Comedy.
It's the Teen Choice Award.
But it lost to Sweet Home Alabama. Because, I mean, Johnny Knoxville is funny, but he's no Josh Lucas.
No Josh Lucas.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. This film...
Who's the other guy? There's 2 men.
There's 2 men?
It's like the Notebook situation.
Oh, right,
how there's
because
like one guy.
Josh Lucas is like the hometown guy. She goes to
He's
Alabama,
Ryan
and
Gosling.
she's like, I thought this guy was a hick, but he seems charming. I like him. And then like the other dude must be like a Wall Street guy that she like brings home to meet her family.
It's like a Marsden type, but it's not Marsden.
No, Marsden was busy. He was on 27 Dresses and shit.
Not it. This is 2002.
Oh yeah, that's before.
That's like
that.
2009.
Wait, so who's the other dude? I want to know.
I'm looking it up. I can't remember because Marsden is the one. From
It's
the Notebook,
fucking
right?
Patrick Dempsey, dude.
Oh shit, he is a Marsden.
Holy shit, Patrick Dempsey. Maybe I gotta rewatch Sweet Home Alabama.
I don't think so. Ethan Embry's in it too. Remember him?
Yeah,
from
from
that thing
you do. I saw this movie in theaters, Sweet Home Alabama, and I thought it was terrible at the time. But now I'm looking at this
She's
cast.
cute though.
Dakota
Nothing with her
Fanning
can be that
played
bad.
young Reese Witherspoon in this. Like,
Oh, at the very beginning, yeah, she gets there's like struck by lightning and she kisses that guy.
maybe I'm wrong,
young
and this
Josh Lucas.
movie has been fucking awesome all these years.
It's kind of cute. She's so good that it's kind of a little charming.
You know, I think she was coming off of Legally Blonde, and I was looking for a little something more like that. But this is way more of like a straight rom-com.
Yeah, but he's not that good.
Who, me, Josh Lucas?
No, that's Lucas Black.
Oh yeah, that is sort of a Lucas Black I was doing.
What's Alabama?
Yeah, right. Like, what's Drift? I believe me. If Lucas Black knows anything, it's what Alabama is.
He's from Alabama.
I'm not surprised. Why don't you
Channing
sound
Tatum
like
is
that?
From Alabama.
Logan, can you say what's Drift in your best Alabama accent?
What's Drift? That was really bad. Did you know Channing Tatum's also from Alabama? That's pretty weird, right?
That is pretty weird. Yeah, he seems more like well-adjusted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, got to get his ass to a fucking coast.
We did.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. All right, so that's all the shit about Jackass that I have. I mean, do you want to go through
What are some of your favorite bits? Yeah. We start with Rent-A-Car Crash Up Derby. I wrote some of the names down. That's a really funny one, I think. All the ones where like it's Knoxville, they're actually doing a prank, I'm into.
How'd you feel about them going to Tokyo?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about that a little bit because they do that one Night Pandas where they just dress up as pandas and destroy Tokyo.
Right.
And it's like it's like something that Jake Paul and Logan Paul have done.
Oh my god, dude, I was going to bring this up. I thought this had such wandering through the suicide forest energy.
But I think they literally did this. I think they went to Japan and they like were like terrible to everybody.
Yeah,
there.
no,
They're,
that's
like,
what it
acting
was.
racist.
That's what it was. Like, that's how they ended
Oh,
up
yeah.
at the suicide forest. Like,
Right.
It was just they were doing Japanese bits and they thought that was funny. And then they went into the forest where everyone commits suicide. And they're like, hey, look at these fucking suicided Japanese guys. And they're like, that's hilarious. And now he's a WWE superstar. And
Yeah, we'll be champion one day. I bet.
no, he won't.
What do you mean? He just had a shot.
I don't think so. I don't think he'll ever be champion. Let's get
All
real.
right.
But so he's awful though. I mean, and that was like an obnoxious thing, and it did feel that way to me. Like, it's 2002. Asians are still okay to rip on, I guess. And I mean, they literally play the song "Turning Japanese" in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
When's Rush Hour?
It's around the same time, 2000. No, 98. Rush Hour, the first one.
But aren't there like 3 of those?
Yeah, Rush Hour 2 is like 2001. Rush Hour 2 feels very like right before 9/11 to me.
You know what I think's a little crazy? How did you guys never cover Bad Boys? Seems like you guys should have covered Bad Boys.
Anytime anyone asks me why we didn't cover a major franchise, it's just because Henry didn't want to.
Really? Bad
Yeah.
Boys though? That seems like you both would have gotten on board at one point.
It just never.
I get like Transformers and stuff, but Bad Boys seems like a no-brainer.
I don't know. He's not a big Will Smith. Like, I had to force him to do Independence Day. Henry was difficult to work with, guys.
I feel like you would have got that before like RoboCop. Like, there's all 3. Don't people like? Aren't there 4 of those now? Actually?
No, the fact of the matter is Henry likes RoboCop. We were only able to do shit that Henry was into.
Yeah. All right. All right.
So if you guys are complaining now that we're gonna do a bunch of dumb shit next year, like Ninja Turtles or whatever, like a bunch of like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, it's just because these are franchises I've been wanting to do for 8 years and haven't been able to.
I do wish that in the Rent-A-Car Crash Up Derby, did you watch the credits where they just show like more of the skits that they did?
It is weird that they end the movie, both these movies, at like an hour and 15 minutes, and then air like 20 minutes of credits.
Yeah, it's fun though. I wish we saw the reveal of them telling the guy at the renting place like, "Hey, this is all a joke." I do wish we got resolution to that.
Oh, I don't.
I always
I
like
wanted
when they
those
tell
guys
them.
to be mad.
Why?
Oh, because are you kidding me? I love watching people just get worked up.
But it's their job.
What, to work at the rental car? Listen, if you work at a rental car place and you don't run that place and you get that upset when someone fucks up a rental car,
Would they have to pay for it then, though?
No. Take a step. You mean like if they don't, would the employee have to pay for it?
Like
No.
if Knoxville just left it at their doorstep, would
Of
then
course
that guy...
not. No.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I mean, don't
I
care
don't
that
know.
much about your job. This whole like soft quitting phenomenon that's happening right now, where like people are just doing the bare minimum at their jobs. I've never supported anything more in my life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, for years, poor people like me have been punished for being good at their jobs. You know, like anytime you show any aptitude in anything, they jump down your throat. They'll never give you a raise. They'll never give you more money or more rewards for what you're doing. No. That's out of the realm of possibility. But if you're better at the job than all the other people, we are going to give you way more responsibility.
Yeah, and we know you can handle that, so now here's more shit.
Right.
So you can't handle it, and then we'll scale back.
I have dealt with that my entire life, being listen, because I'm a smart person that works stupid jobs, right? I've always done that. And so any job I've ever had, I'm smarter than like 80% of the workforce. I'm sorry to say that. It sounds hubristic, but it's true. And I've just always been given tons of responsibility everywhere I've gone. And I'm fucking done now. I have this job now. I'm a doorman. I don't do anything, dude. I never stand up. I'll sit in that chair for 8 hours straight. Fuck you.
You go to the
guys.
bathroom? You walk to the bathroom?
Yeah, that's the only time I get up.
You don't go to like vending machines?
No, I don't have any vending machines. There's nowhere to go. I lock the fucking door. I've locked the door. Just go to the bodega.
Yeah, you're really like the doorman from Seinfeld at that point.
I don't even fuck you. Like, fire me, please. I dare you. Because they won't find someone better than me. They've gotten like other people to fill in, and they're worse at the job. Like even me sitting here for 8 hours a day and doing nothing, I'm more competent than most people in my position.
Yeah, and you get a lot of watching done.
Yeah, so just let me fucking sit there and do the job. Like I'll put 4% of my mental energy into it, and I'll still make your lives easier than if you had some fucking dumb shit sitting there.
Yeah, I can't argue with you.
Soft quitting, baby. It's the way of the world. Everybody do it.
At one point, Johnny do you remember the one where they're on the golf carts just like crashing into a bunch of stuff?
Yeah.
Being jackasses. Ryan and Johnny Knoxville crash at one point, and someone says...
Son can't drive for shit.
It's a bummer. I will say the golf course stuff was my favorite when I watched this movie the first time, and it still kind of is.
What are you talking about?
The thing where because I fucking hate golfers. My dad's a golfer.
Oh, we're thinking of two. Okay, there's one where they just like drive around and crash, and then there's another one where they do the air horn bit. That's hilarious.
No, I know. I knew what you were talking about, but I wanted to use it as a
confused.
transition.
I was dumb.
Yeah, they do a thing where they bring an air horn to like a fancy golf course, and they put it off like while people are mid-swing.
Yeah, teeing off, I think they call it.
Well, yeah. And I just love that bit. Because I think I just like anything where people are fucking with rich people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's even the best part is when the rich guys start to they aim at them and start to swing at them, and
they
like,
put the air horn on while they're aiming at them.
Absolutely hysterical.
That is so fucking good.
And that's what I love about these guys is like the bits that they do is funny them in itself, but they add so like these guys are so funny with what they do, and they know exactly what they're doing to
Here's
elevate
another
whatever it
thing.
is.
Here's another thing. They never punch down. Their
Yes.
pranks are always aimed at themselves.
Except the Japanese people, they walk into their country and just shit all over them.
Yeah, and I thought that was the worst part of either of these movies, and they should have cut it out entirely.
Can I tell you the other thing I didn't like
What?
is the Party Boy. Chris Pontius has a character Party Boy where he
I
just
don't like that
dances
either,
around.
and he's in Tokyo also.
Yep, that's my LVP, Party Boy.
I agree. I wrote that down. Party Boy goes to Tokyo. Hate it.
Yep.
But most of the comedy, like if they're ever directing it at someone outside of their own group, it's usually just some rich asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They're never like fucking with like I always worry like there's that part where Wee Man like runs by that wall of like like it looks like people like online for like the bank or something, and like he runs by and then he comes back and it's like a whole group of dwarves chasing
Right.
after. Yeah, like to me, like that worried me. I was worried they were gonna like fuck with those people that were like waiting in line for like the bank or whatever, and I was just. But no, they were only looking for a reaction.
They do crash into a lot of like store windows and destroy like shelves of stuff, right?
Yeah, but I think that it's because they have a movie budget now, so they can do anything. Like they can.
Well, they just pay those stores. Like,
Yeah,
here's 10 grand.
I literally think like when they fuck up someplace in this, like they literally like stay on and like help them fix it.
Right. Well, they definitely do that.
Yeah.
Well, what else did you like? Department store boxing. That's one of the standouts in these movies when he boxes Butterbean. That's hilarious.
I'm a big Butterbean fan. He really captured the imagination of American whites in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, because the top boxer in the 90s was Mike Tyson, right? And we all loved Mike Tyson, but he was a convicted rapist. He ripped a guy's ear off in the middle of the ring. Like he wasn't the most likable dude in the world. I was never a big Tyson fan. But you always had Butterbean, and he was just like this big, fat, bald white guy with like American flag shorts, and he would show up in all the video games, and like I would play as Butterbean a lot. And then he got hired by the WWE for a while. They did this thing, the Brawl for All tournament, and they would have real wrestlers box each other, like they'd fight each other like for real. And it was really embarrassing because they're all bad at it. But then the winner of the whole tournament went on to box Butterbean on a pay-per-view, dude. And the winner was this dude, Bart Gunn. He was like Billy Gunn's tag team partner. Yeah. And he fought Butterbean at a pay-per-view, and Butterbean knocked the shit out of him in like under 20 seconds.
Do you remember? I mean, you definitely do. Whenever Floyd Money Mayweather fought the Big Show, and he pulled out his brass knuckles and broke his fucking nose.
Yep.
At the WrestleMania.
Yeah, but you remember when he lost to Jake Paul?
Who? Money Mayweather?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So maybe going into Suicide Forest is good for your boxing career.
So that means Jake would easily beat the Big Show, right? If he beat Floyd and Floyd beat the Big Show?
Stands to reason, but he's got to go over to AEW to find that out.
He's at AEW?
Yeah.
Good for the Big Show has been like a large man his entire life, and he's still wrestling. He's been wrestling for 25, 30 years at this point.
He's awesome, dude. He was in WCW in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I love the Big Show. He's in the Waterboy. At one point in the Waterboy.
Is he Captain Insano in that?
Captain Insano.
He recently resurrected that on AEW television.
That's exactly right. Yep.
That was incredible. All right, so that was Butterbean. So it was nice. Yeah, Butterbean knocked out Knoxville, and that was great. Like he was really knocked out.
Yeah, and another line, like another point to these guys being hilarious when Knoxville wakes up and he says, "Is Butterbean okay?" Well, the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's able to fit in like a funny little line, coming like waking up from being knocked out.
Yeah. And the nurse that's working on him found that joke very funny too. She gives him a smile.
That's why I think Johnny Knoxville has gotten laid more than anybody in the world. I think he's so charming.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like Johnny Knoxville fucks. Is he married now?
I have no idea. You think more than anybody in the world?
Can I tell you something? I've already lost my phone.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How? Weren't you just on it?
Yes.
Johnny Knoxville wife. Yeah, Naomi Nelson. Since he was married to Melanie. While he was doing this, he was married. Oh yeah, I did learn he had kids while he was making these movies. He had a wife and kids.
With who?
Melanie Lynn Clapp at the time, I guess.
Well,
and then
his
Naomi
name's
Nelson
Clapp.
now. Right.
So what was her name before it was Clapp? Oh, Kate's. Here. Look, he was married pre-Jackass. He was already married when he
She's a
started
stylist.
Jackass. That seems crazy. And see what happened? They divorced
And he had kids.
They divorced in 2007 because Johnny Knoxville started to say, I think I could have sex every day with a different person.
He got married in 2010 again to Naomi Nelson.
Why? What is he doing?
I don't know. Let him live his life. He's happy. He found the love of his life.
Look, I mean, we found on June 17th, 2022, it was reported that he filed for divorce from her.
Yeah, I see that now too.
You know what? Stop getting married. They're just going to cheat on you.
His newfound stardom after Jackass Forever.
Yeah. I don't trust people. People shouldn't be in relationships.
There's a guy.
People are horrible to one another.
You remember the alligator when Knoxville or Steve-O does the little zip line across the alligator thing?
Yeah. Well, he tries to walk a trapeze.
That's what I meant. Whatever. Well, there's a guy Manny there who's a quote unquote alligator expert.
I saw this on Twitter. I saw you posted this on Twitter.
How do you see that?
Because I got sometimes I get an email with tweets like, here's some tweets you missed. And that was the first one.
Well, this was before I saw Jackass 2, but he shows up at the end of Jackass 1 when Ryan Dunn is doing the butt X-ray.
Yeah.
And it's very weird.
He's credited as alligator expert when we first see him, and then he's there for the butt X-ray, so you're like, what's going on there? But then he shows up again in the second movie.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
And he's credited as just like dangerous animal expert.
Yeah. So he's there with some of
expanded.
those. But even some of the non-animal ones, he's just like in the background. You'll see him. So I guess they're just pals now.
Yeah, he just seems like a bud.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was around for them putting that alligator in. They wanted to get Ryan Dunn's mom to, not Ryan Dunn. They wanted to get Bam's mom to say fuck, and so they put an alligator in her kitchen.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean it did work.
We see some of Bam's friends. The bungee wedgie is this guy Rob himself. That's one of Bam's friends. Do you know that?
Is that the guy from Robin Big?
No, that's Rob Dyrdek.
Oh, okay.
But that guy's in CKY. And then there's a guy, Brandon DiCamillo, who did the ice horse in the second one. Do you remember that one?
No.
Where he like puts his balls on a frozen horse.
Yeah.
And then they push him off. That's Bam's friend.
I
also.
always wanted to get rid of some of those guys. There are too many hangers on in Jackass. Like Jackass, it should have been Johnny, Bam, Ryan Dunn, Steve-O, Wee Man, Chris Pontius, and then there's the fat guy and the tooth guy. It should just be those guys.
No, Dave England. He shits all the time. I love him.
All right, fine. We'll let you have the one other guy.
The 9 members of the fellowship.
Right.
That's
but there's always hangers on because of these spin-offs. Like by the time the second Jackass movie came out, they all had their own shows.
Right. They talk about in 2.5 how in 2 they were filming skits on all these other shows too.
They said that the horse cum thing was something that was filmed for an episode of Wild Boys that they just were like, no, that's too good. Let's save it for the movie.
Yeah, Wild Boys. That they talk about that a lot in 2.5.
Yeah. There was Wild Boys and Viva La Bam. Was there another one? I feel like there were a bunch.
Did Preston and Wee Man have one? Probably not.
Probably not. I don't think they had their own show, but
those two sound right.
But I feel like they were around. I feel like there was a period of time where anytime you turned on Jackass, anytime you turned on MTV, there was either like a Jackass spinoff or it was like some celebrity showing you around their house.
I feel like I took a break between like Jackass and Jersey Shore. I wasn't really watching MTV.
I feel like anytime you put it on, it was either Jackass or Made.
Yeah, not the challenge.
No, it always used to bother me because I used to see that show Made on all the time because I always used to think it was that Jon Favreau movie, and I was like, oh, let me watch that. But then it would just turn out to be this MTV show.
Damn, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
That happened to me probably 30 times one year.
Wow, it's a lot of times.
Yeah, you'd think I'd get it eventually, but no. I mean, you think eventually I'd stop losing my phone, but I don't. I'm just that. Like, I don't think my brain works right.
I like the doctor when they go to the butt X-ray. I think he's very funny.
Oh,
Or the X-ray giver. Guy.
yeah. Well, I like him. Sort of.
I don't know if the subtitles are correct, but he's very funny.
If they are, I like that because I like him ripping on him before he's actually giving him news about it.
Yeah. He's saying like they were all like at a party fucking each other. They're all drugged up.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's accurate. I doubt
know.
it.
It was just like he's came up with a story in his head to justify a toy car being in someone's butt. I like that.
I don't think it's real.
I mean,
but even afterward, he's like, your friend knows that's already one person too many. You don't tell anybody else. I thought he says, don't poop it out. But then Ryan Dunn poops it out, which seemed like a terrible decision.
I would never put anything up my butt for this show. Like a car, I feel like you'd damage yourself.
What about anal beads?
I mean, that's fine. Those are normal, right?
Yeah. In 2.5, Bam flies a kite out of his ass with anal beads.
Yeah, that seems crazy to me.
It's crazy, actually. Like the wind picks it up and pulls it out of his ass.
I feel like there's a lot of that. There's like a lot of time. What is it? They tie something to someone's dick and then a snake bites it?
They tie so in the second one, Chris Pontius is a mouse.
Yeah. They make his dick look like a mouse, and then they have a snake bite the dick. How do they come up with some of this shit? Like, seriously,
come on, we could do it if we sit in a room for.
I disagree.
Our job,
no, you're full of shit. You're full of
me?
shit. You're full of shit because there were so many people doing this at the time. That was like the hot shit when Jackass came out. That's why there was all those like. Even in the movies, they put those warning labels at the start of the movie, like, don't do this. Remember, fucking don't do any of this. And it's because people were doing it. Like, it was the early days of
but not professionally.
Exactly. But we're not. You think, like, if you and
yes.
me, you think if you and me sat down, we were like, we're going to make a Jackass movie, we would make it as good as this?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
This is your hubris, man, thinking you can do everything anybody else can do. For some reason, these guys were able to tap into something.
You just need a group of same-minded people who are up for the...
No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't.
I know that if I was a Johnny Knoxville, a Ryan Dunn, somebody in this group, if I had other people in the group with me, we could for sure do this.
But you wouldn't have this many people in the group that are this good at this.
That's what makes them special.
Well, I agree, but that's why I don't think just like any random group of friends can do this. I watched this shit. Like, I watched this happen. Groups of friends were doing this on the internet for years, and they were all obnoxious. They were all horrible, and they all needed to stop.
Right. I understand. These guys are the best version of it. But I'm saying if I was a member of a group of people, if we like this is our job, we could for sure do this.
I disagree. I didn't like the yellow snow cone.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is this one.
He just pees on snow and then eats it. He eats his own pee.
Yeah, in 2.5. Sorry to keep talking about 2.5, but they're talking about is it called Wild Boys?
Yeah,
they did a Wild Boys thing. They were just hanging out with these people, and one of them peed in a cup and drank it, and they were like, "Well, that's pretty weak. Like, put it in a snow cone at first, and then we'll talk about it." But so they said, I thought they thought that was a good one.
I feel like pee has become so popular in pornography the last few years, and it's tough.
I thought you loved it.
I don't need that much pee. Like, I'll take like a smidgen of pee in sex, but like, I feel like now it's just like after the dude comes, he just like pisses on the girl.
What? That seems crazy. Can you even pee that soon afterward?
Oh, are you kidding me? That's the first thing I have to do after I come.
Really?
Yeah, you have to pee like immediately.
I guess I've never come before.
I do
like in the yellow snow cone how they just like start beating the shit out of him. Like they kick him and then he walks off. He like vomits and walks off with like his ass hanging out. Like it starts out so simple and then he leaves.
I'd vomit like that. Like I mean I bought it. Ugh. The other big vomit scene was when the dude shit in the car and it made Lance Bangs vomit.
Oh, Lance is a possible MVP, and then he faints at one point later in the movie.
Yeah.
I forget when, but he faints at one point. Oh, the
I'm-
paper cuts.
I'm a big fan of Lance Bangs. Yeah, he was hanging around a lot at this period of time, doing a lot of like low budget film work, and he always ends up in cool projects. Like around the same time, he directed the documentary about my favorite band, Pavement, called Slow Century.
Wow.
And yeah, so I always appreciate him showing up. But it's so funny because like I think of him as like kind of an actual filmmaker. And here he is, just like.
But that's like Spike too. And then he's Gloria.
No,
the
for
slut,
sure,
the
yeah.
90-year-old slut.
Like it's okay for smart people to have fun.
Yeah, that makes me love him even more.
Yeah, smart people can just do dumb shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm smart, and like most of my life is dumb shit. Like I've devoted my people. I feel like people in my life think I'm stupid, just because I'm into stupid shit.
Yeah.
But it's okay to like be a smart guy who like is smart about stupid shit.
Yes, that's the difference. If you say to somebody, "I like wrestling," they would think you're stupid. But if you
Exactly.
don't buy wrestling, you love the storytelling of wrestling and the art of crafting a narrative around wrestlers and wrestling. And yeah, people
A
don't
dude
get
at
that.
my job asked me like what show I most recently watched yesterday, and I didn't want to lie, so I said SEAL Team. And then like I walked away like thinking like this guy thinks I'm dumb. Like he thinks I'm stupid. Like I'm sitting here in his lobby,
Yeah.
watching a procedural about. Like,
I would think
SEAL. Yeah, of course, and I don't blame them. But like, also like we eat what we like. Fuck you. Like just because you like some snobby shit, like. I like that shit too.
So you
I
feel
mean-
like John Waters,
Yeah, I love John. I like John Waters because he's
but how he shows up in the second one.
yeah, because he's like a genius who's willing to get into the muck with other people.
Yeah. Rip Taylor.
Yeah, he's fun to see too. Although I was not excited to see Henry Rollins in this first one.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest. I heard that name. I thought that was a wrestler. It sounds like a wrestler. Henry Rollins, right?
Nah, he's the dude from Black Flag.
Yeah.
But Henry Rollins, he's had a weird career. I love his shit in Black Flag, but he's gone on to like, he's like done like stand-up gigs. He does a lot of like talking arrangements, and he comes across like he thinks he's smarter than he is, which is a bummer.
It'll be funny because of this whole episode, you feel like I'm the smartest person I know. I'm the best. I know exactly what everybody else doesn't know.
No, I'm not the smartest. Like I'm dumb about a lot of shit, but like I just think like I'm more smart about dumb shit than people are used to.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on. I never give myself compliments. I could be a little bit complimentary of myself.
Yeah, you said
in
we
this
couldn't pull off
episode.
Jackass. so-
Yeah, we
Hmm.
couldn't.
I say we could though, so I guess I'm
You're
I do it
wrong.
more than you.
You're absolutely wrong. All right, I'm pretty done with this first one.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So at the end of it, the credits roll at 1 hour and 15 minutes in, which I was excited about. And then they do this whole skit, 2063. They go to the year 2063, and it's Son of Jackass. And the idea is that this was supposed to be the next Jackass movie. They're joking, like, we would never make a sequel. Maybe we'll do one in 2063 when we're really old. And so they get everyone into, like, really old people makeup. And it's a little depressing knowing how many of them aren't going to be this old.
Well, only one for sure, Ryan.
I would say 2 for sure.
Well, to 2063.
Bam ain't making it to 2063.
He's not making it to 2063.
Get out
And
of here.
I would argue none of us listening to this right now are going to make it to 2063.
I will.
You think so?
40 years? How old am I now? 30? I'll be 7. Yeah, I'll make it to 2063.
You don't think like your kidneys are going to fail you?
No, I think once I quit drinking,
liver?
no, my liver self-repair, man. I haven't had alcohol in 5 years.
What about kidney? Is that different?
That's different, yeah. I don't know if I'm fucking up my kidneys.
Don't you have 2 of those? I'll give you one if you fucking need one.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll take you up on that.
Oh shit! I said it on a podcast too, but I
Yup.
can edit it before it gets released.
No, I've got the hard recording, baby.
You have your audio. You don't have
Are
my
you
stuff.
kidding me? I can hear you faintly.
Oh yeah, you're right. Away.
All right. So yeah, I was sad seeing Ryan Dunn as an old man, but it's a cute way to end the movie, I guess. What do you give this first Jackass?
I will give it a 3.
I'm giving it a 3, and frankly, it's just because I'm giving the next one a 4.
Yeah, me too. Me too, to be honest. Because I always have just them all as a 4 in
Me
my
too.
mind.
Me
But
too.
this is definitely worse.
Yeah, the second one's notably better.
Yeah. I was looking like through my notes and I was just like, this one's good, this one's good, this one's good. And then this one, there's like 5 good ones.
There's all killer and no filler in the sequel, I think.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right. So
My MVP is
Yep.
I wrote down. I thought Lance was actually pretty funny. How he gets how he faints in the second one.
yeah,
But I'm gonna go Johnny Knoxville in this first one.
I am too. Johnny's my MVP. You need a guy to. You really do need a central figure. Like none of the other guys could do it. You couldn't put like Bam at the center of this. You couldn't put Steve-O at the center of this. You need
No.
Johnny. Johnny's
Yeah.
essential.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Who's your LVP? Party Boy?
Party boy. Yep.
Yeah, me too. All right. So that's Jackass. And then like 4 years later, they made a sequel. All right. So the second Jackass movie. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, Jackass Number Two.
Number 2. Yeah.
Great title.
Oh, because it's shit.
Yeah,
I never put that together.
come on.
I never did. I never realized that was a shit joke until right now.
Yeah, great job, Tremaine. Who do you think did that? Everybody, probably everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they all just probably agreed on it. Like sometimes you come up with a title and it's like that has to be the title.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like I thought you were going to open this podcast like, "Hi, I'm Daniel Ehrenberg, and welcome to Jackass, or welcome to the franchise."
Listen.
But then you didn't do that.
Well, if I was more creative, I would have.
Should we do it right now? I'll edit it in the beginning.
I did do it like right after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I'll see what I can
hey, I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. This is the franchise, right? That's what you say.
do. I'll put that at the beginning.
Hey, yo, I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. This is podcast.
That sounds like Anakin. Now we're podcasting.
Oh no, I thought I was just referencing my favorite character from Ghostbusters Afterlife podcast.
Oh my god! How do you remember podcast? Holy shit!
Hey, that's good stuff. Okay, September 22nd, 2006. That's when this movie came out. I was in college.
I was 8.
I was too cool for school. I didn't see this, but I was working at the Buster at the time. I think I rented it. So this, they had a little bit of they doubled the budget actually, $11.5 million. You know, they're not making a TV show anymore. So
Same profit though. They made about 74 million both times.
Yeah. 84.6 was the total gross of the film. It came in at number 33 at the American box office, higher up than the last one, between Monster House and Barnyard, up there with the kids shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie wasn't nominated for anything. Why'd they nominate the first movie for all those awards? Do you think we just didn't care anymore?
I don't know. That doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. But to me, this is like the redheaded stepchild of the Jackass franchise.
Really?
To me, it's the one with the least reason to exist.
What does that mean? You can't make a third one without a second one.
But hear me out. The first one exists to wrap up the show, right?
Okay.
The third one exists because of the 3D boom. It happened like right around the time of Avatar, and they thought, wouldn't it be funny if we did a Jackass movie like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was.
Right.
It starts with a dildo flying at you. It's hysterical.
Yeah. And then the fourth one exists because it's like we want to do one, like this is the era of reboots. In fact, Johnny Knoxville is currently starring on a show called Reboot about reboots. And
do they say requel in the Jackass 4? This might have been before Scream, actually. It was the beginning of the year.
We'll have to
was
see.
it in the last year? It was
We'll
last year, right?
We'll have to see. But yeah, Jackass Forever. This was like the one, let's bring all the gang back together and like see what they're like now.
And some new people. I don't know if you know about the new people.
No, I didn't know there were new people.
Yeah. I don't know any of them, but I know there's like 5 of them.
Well, that makes me nervous. But
I hear they're good.
well, I mean, I guess they lost Ryan Dunn. They lost Bam. Yeah.
I don't know if Preston is... I haven't seen a lot of these people in a long time.
I mean, are Preston and Wee Man alive?
Yeah, come on.
Do we know that? Is
I
Wee
know-
Man alive?
Yeah.
I feel like famous dwarfs die a lot.
Really?
I mean, like Mini-Me died, and Joe C, Kid Rock's little dwarf, he died.
But not Leprechaun. Hornswoggle is also alive. Second Leprechaun.
Yeah, you're right. Hornswoggle is still hanging in
Who was
there.
the first one? He's also using like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and Harry Potter and shit.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
not
dude,
Lord of the Rings.
No, who was? You're thinking of the dude who was like an Ewok.
Yeah, come
Warwick
on.
Davis.
Warwick
yeah.
Davis. Warwick Davis.
Yeah,
He's alive.
he is alive. You're right. I mean, listen.
Willow, right? He's that guy.
Who?
Willow? Is that a thing?
Who's Willow? Oh, Willow. That's Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
All right. I looked up Wee Man. Yeah, he is alive, man.
Yeah,
And
come on.
in 2012, he starred in a film called Elfman. He was the titular Elfman. Christmas as a new hero.
Dinklage is alive. Come on.
I'm not saying all dwarfs die at a young age. I'm just
That's what
saying,
you
like,
just said, right?
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there was a particular moment in the early 2000s where it was
They were all
popular
dying.
to have like a dwarf hanging around like normal-sized people. At normal, I shouldn't say normal size. Yeah, but
Mickey's alive, right? From Seinfeld?
yeah, I guess so. But I'm just saying there was like a period of time where a lot of these famous dwarfs were passing away, and I thought maybe Wee Man was one of them, but no. He's around. He's doing great. Is he any less wee now?
You mean like around the midsection?
No, I'm just saying, like, when you get old, like if you're a dwarf and your name's Wee Man, and then you become like a 50-year-old man, do you still want people to call you Wee Man?
His name's Jason.
Jason Acuna, by the way.
Acuna.
That always blew me away about this dude. He's like Italian.
Yeah, that's awesome. Acuna.
All right. Yeah. All right. Where are we going?
Number 2, right?
Oh, right. So I think this one doesn't have the least reason to exist. I think it only exists because the first
What
one
about
made
Bad
money.
Grandpa?
But that seems inspired. That
You
seems
saw
like they
that,
had
right?
an idea. Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna give Bad Grandpa at least a 4 next week.
There's like a real storyline too. It's like Borat 2.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Right. I sort of remember. I remember there's like a great strip club scene. I remember that part.
I don't remember that. but
Is
I'm
it the
sure
same
is good.
kid? No way, that kid would be
No, of course not. The kid is great in this.
Yeah, really funny. Yeah.
They really got a good kid. When the kid is like telling those like dudes to fuck. Yo, when he almost gets into a fight with that one guy, I love that because I love watching people on the street want to get into fights. Like when he says, "You want to take this outside?" and
Mhm.
Johnny Knoxville's like, "He wants to take this outside. We are outside." And he says, "Do you want to take this around the corner or something?" Like, fuck you, dude. Like, no one looks weaker than a dude who wants to fight someone.
Yeah. And then at one point he's like, "Yeah, you bitch," or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna cuss in front of the kid. Way to go. You're such
Yeah.
a good influence." All right.
Knoxville handled that so fucking perfect. And he's so willing to take a punch, too. That I think that's key to Jackass, is like, you've got to be good-natured about it the whole time, to the point that if someone gets pissed off and punches you, that's got to just be okay.
And this was before the era of YouTube where like the whole "it's a prank" became like a meme where everyone would just say, like, anytime someone would get caught doing something terrible, they would just be like, "It's a prank, it's a prank." But this was beforehand where you could do that and it would be like, "Oh, we're on TV. This is kind of cool."
And they
So-
take advantage of that in the second one. Like the thing they do where, who's the one-tooth guy?
Aaron.
They fool him with that whole thing where they act like a guy's getting mad at him and putting him in the trunk of his cab, and he buys into
Oh,
that.
you mean the director of Super Troopers?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, Jay Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, I looked him up,
yeah. But that was, you had to look him up. I knew him.
No, I
He's
didn't know.
dead, isn't he?
What?
Jay Chandrasekhar. I think he died a couple years ago.
I didn't notice that when I looked him up. You could definitely be right though.
No, I'm wrong. He's alive.
What are you doing? You're just like,
You know what I was
everyone's dead.
thinking of? I was thinking of Danny Liner, the guy that directed Dude, Where's My Car?
He died?
Yeah, he died.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But Jay Chandrasekhar, he's still around. And they should bring him back. I thought he fit in perfectly with the Jackass dudes. I thought he was hilarious in that sketch.
Yeah, he's good. He sold it very well.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him. He not only did he direct Super Troopers.
You like that
Club
movie?
Dread-
I thought you were gonna shit on that movie.
No, the movie's okay. But I like his other movies, Club Dread and Beer Fest.
Right.
And I mean, he's still around today. Most recently, he just directed 2 episodes of the new Mighty Ducks show.
Yeah, I actually. Oh, that might have been him. I saw somebody made like a bunch of like Community and a bunch of like New Girl and.
I mean, that's him. He directed like 10 episodes of New Girl. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and 9 of Community, including some of the best. Mixology certification, the one where they take him out. They take Troy out drinking for his 21st birthday. It's one of the best episodes of the show.
I don't remember that episode.
Great, amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so that's him. I mean, let's talk about the movie. It starts.
The Bulls.
How does the first one start? The first one starts with
they're in
the
a shopping
cart. I thought that was a clever way to start the movie, and I do kind of think you need like a big opener like that. But I think this one was even better because you don't know what they're doing at first. You just see them running, and then you see the Bulls behind them, and you're like, "Oh my god!" It looks like they let them loose in like Paramount produced this, because it's MTV. I assume like Paramount has just like a suburban community on their lot that they can shoot for exteriors. Like maybe they did this with like Desperate Housewives or something, and so they just have them running around with these bulls on this suburban set. I don't think the set is,
but like the bulls are all completely real.
I think
because I can never tell. Like every time I watch this movie, I try and see if it's real, and I can't.
The bulls look real, man. When they're on that little structure,
sometimes they're definitely real.
You know, when they're on that structure, they're doing the teeter-totter thing with the bulls.
Oh, that's real. Come on, I'm talking
that
about
is
this.
Fucked. Like Johnny Knoxville gets the shit. Like he gets bucked by a bull really hard.
He's like pinned in between the
the
thing. It's like the wife from Signs, right?
Yeah, I
pinned in that tree.
Yeah, that's a good point. I liked. You lost my train of thought. So I was too good at joke. I'm sorry.
Something. Yeah, Bulls, the Chicago Bulls. Alex Caruso. You like Alex Caruso?
No, we can move on from Bulls, man. What's next?
All right.
What about Spike Jonze? Spike Jonze was in this one.
Yeah, and honestly, he's on the short list for my LVP.
Well, because he's the old lady with his boobs out?
Yeah, and that's a little tough to watch.
Oh, I disagree. I liked it when... I found it difficult to watch later, like when he's like just like fucking with people on the street. But when they first do the bit where his dress comes off in the cab, I thought that was so funny.
It's just so gross, though.
I know. But everyone believes it. Like, everyone's just trying to help this person.
The look on everybody's face is just like, they're just horrified.
I can't
by
believe
the
this
situation.
happened. This is the worst thing that's ever happened.
And it would be. That would be like the scariest thing ever.
Yeah, it's a cab drives away and like rips off this woman's entire dress.
Then they wrap her in like paper or something.
Yeah, they bring her like oh my god, that waitress was kind of sweet. They brought her a little piece of paper. All right, so that's Spike, and I was excited to see him show up.
Yeah,
it reminded me of because he was doing more like performance art stuff around the time of his directing career kicking off. He did that video "Praise Me" or "Praise You" by Fatboy Slim.
Okay.
You ever see that video?
No.
That was a famous video. It was just like a dance troupe sidles up to like a line. It's like opening night at a movie theater. And this dance troupe just like starts playing the song Praise You by Fatboy Slim and dancing in front of the line. And Spike Jonze is like the head of the dance troupe. It's a very funny video.
All right. I told you last week about the one where they put Wee Man in that chair and they make him read that letter from the fans and they punch him off. Did you like that one?
I loved that. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just Wee Man.
Yeah, they got like a bunch of them.
Yeah, they all got it.
Right.
I thought it was smart too. Like, yeah, they made the writing smaller as it went in, so it forced everybody to like lean in a little bit. It was good.
They said like Bam was selling it really well, but I would have seen right through Bam what Bam was doing. I thought he was really bad trying to sell it, but they all bought it. So what do I know? I guess.
Well, I think Bam was just trying to like seem excited that like some rando wants to fuck them all.
Right, but he was like, "Oh, you got to get up real close. Get real close to it. You got to read it really close."
I know.
Really pushing for it.
It's true. All right. What else we got? Bam.
Bam. I thought Bam's good in this one. He has a few ideas, right? He has the there's the strong man where they're gonna like hit him in the balls, but then he's like, no. What if it's a dildo going up my ass? And I thought that was a great decision from Bam, right?
What about the brand? Do you think he still has that?
Yeah,
He still has a brand of a dick on his butt?
yeah, for sure.
I mean, what would you
like,
rather
think
have?
about it.
What would you rather have, Logan? A brand of a dick on your butt or Keith Rainier's initials next to your dick?
And Allison Mack, you turn it sideways, it's Allison Mack.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah.
I would rather have the dick.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was honestly gonna say the Keith thing, but then saying his name, thinking about that was too weird. So
Because like here's what would happen. You'd run into a lady who's like seeing you naked for the first time, she'd ask you about it. The one thing is like, listen, I was in college, I got drunk, my friends did this. I'm sorry. I know my ass looks stupid now.
I was stupid for 6 hours. This
Yeah.
was I was stupid for 8 years or something.
No, it's true. It's like the explanation for the other thing is, yeah, I was part of a sex cult and I was fucking this guy and I believed that he was going to make me a more profound person in the world.
Right. But the argument the other way. Well, also Sarah had never had sex with him, right? And she had the brand. But
Yeah.
the argument the other way is we see a few times in the vow her like applying ointment and it's sort of disappearing not disappearing, but there's no way that dick had, like, he branded him 5 times and it looked horribly infected. I feel like that still looks terrible to this day.
I don't know. The Keith Rainier tattoo, I mean, those brands look more raised than this one, though.
But we've seen those like years later. We saw this like right after and then like 10 hours later.
I want to see it now.
Me too.
Do you think you could find that on the internet?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Maybe
I'm gonna
ask him.
Google Bam's butt brand now. He said in an interview as of 4 years ago that the scarring has faded and you can't really see it that well anymore.
Wow. Okay.
It didn't scar that deep.
Wow. It looked like it was terrible.
Well, it's because like he kept like jumping off. Like I bet you if he kept the brand on his ass a little longer.
Of course, but that is so hard to do.
Hey, listen, the Nexium ladies did it.
But weren't they pinned down?
Yeah, they asked everyone to pin them down.
Yeah, he was just like standing
because they
there.
so badly wanted that fucking guy's initials next to their pussy.
It's not even really that next to it.
It's right next to it.
It's like what do you call that? The pelvis or something?
Yeah, but it's right there. Like, come on. Like, if Nippy is going down on his lady, he's looking at Keith Rainier's
Which apparently
initials.
didn't happen that much, right? Like they were saying, like at one point, who was the Lauren? She was like, "Well, that happened like 6 months ago, and he hasn't noticed yet." Clearly, something's like that's crazy. 6 months have passed, and you haven't seen your wife's pelvis.
Seriously, eat your wife's pussy. What are you doing?
Even like, how do you not see her pelvis? That's
Eh.
crazy. What do you mean, eh?
I don't know. I was in a relationship for like 6 years, and by the end of it, I didn't want to look at fucking an inch of her body.
Well, this was like the beginning of their marriage.
I guess so. All right. Can we talk about Steve-O?
Yeah, let's talk about Steve-O.
Steve-O's the MVP of this one, and
Maybe.
I just think he does a lot of shit I would never do. So first of all, the fish hook thing. He puts a fish hook through his, like, we see him do that. He stabs himself
Yeah,
through
the whole
the
process.
cheek. It's awful. And
Yeah.
it's not even that good a bit. The only reason I think it made it into the movie is because it's so fucked up that he stabs himself through the cheek.
And then, like, kind of worse than that is he jumps in the ocean after it, starts swimming with this punctured thing in his cheek. Like, that's, like, that could rip your cheek out, I feel like.
I know.
Crazy. Very funny, though, that they're fishing with Steve-O. What an
Yeah.
insane thing.
And then later on, he puts a leech on his eyeball.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
Leeches freak me out in general. They have ever since Speed 2 Cruise Control. But, I just don't want to see them. I hate them, like, swimming around like that. Ugh. All right, and then the other one was the fart mask. I mean, I feel like he's just like Steve-O. He's really going for it. He's doing things. Is he drunk at this point?
Yes.
This was before he got sober, right?
The next movie, they make him get sober. And the next movie, he kind of does one of the craziest things anyone... I mean, the leech in your eye is fucking crazy, right?
It's amazing
the
that
craziest thing
they
anyone ever did?
forced Steve-O to get sober, and he did.
Yeah.
So they were like, we can do that again. Like, it worked on Steve-O. We got that guy fucking sober. We can get Bam sober, but they
The
can't.
next one, he does the poo cocktail supreme. Do you remember that one?
No.
Where he gets in the porta potty and they like
Oh.
launch him into the air.
Yeah, I do.
It's like the
remember
last
that.
thing in the
That
third
is
one.
fucking gross.
And he's sober in that one. That's so crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. What were some of your favorite cameos?
Well, the other Steve-O thing that I love is they plunge his asshole after he does the butt chug. Like they're like he can't get it out, and then they're like, "Oh, that's a
And
great
it
idea.
works,
Let's plunge
and it
it."
works.
And it's so hysterical. I was dying. I could not stop laughing watching them plunge his ass.
It is funny, man. Look, I mean, I don't get people who are like turn their noses up at these movies. Like to me, the only knock on them is they're not movies.
It's like no, they're not movies. They're not movies.
They're just long Jackass episodes.
But how can you not watch this and put yourself in their situation and not realize that these are like well thought out bits that they're doing and committing to, and they're making like they're elevating to a point where other people can't.
Well, I do think
like this is a real
I
skill.
do think most people can do that, and these movies did get better reviews than you'd think they did. And most critics are able to understand that, but I do think there's a type of critic that looks at this, and even like from an execution standpoint, they can't even get past the premise. Like, I can't even get past that someone would do this.
Right.
Like, this isn't worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I just don't get that line of thinking, man. To me, this is insanely worthwhile.
Yeah, very entertaining stuff.
Yeah. And like, they're not movies. I agree with that. And if you're going to like review them as movies, on some level, you have to acknowledge that they're not movies. But, you know, as really long just pieces, they're not even long. They're like 80-minute pieces of entertainment.
I would call it art.
I would too.
Yeah. I would absolutely call this art.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for Jeff Tremaine. Putting all this stuff together, knowing the shots that he needs.
I wish I knew more about Jeff Tremaine's function on that set. I have a lot of respect for like the Jackass guys.
In 2.5 we see, I didn't bring this up, but 2.5 isn't just clips. We see lots of interviews with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they talk about it a lot.
I mean,
I'm gonna watch all the other 0.5s.
I've never seen any of these 0.5s. Should I watch them?
Yeah, I didn't know if I had either, but watching 2.5, I was like, oh, I've definitely seen a lot of this stuff.
No, I definitely skipped those. Like, I remember when they came out of Blockbuster, and I was like, I'm okay just seeing like the real version, right?
Yeah, there's some funny stuff though. There's one where Preston dresses up as King Kong and he stands on a porta potty, and Wee Man is like the girl from King Kong on the porta potty, and the RC cars are coming at, or planes are coming at him. It's pretty funny.
I think around this same time, Anchorman had put out like a second Anchorman movie that was only using like alternate takes and deleted scenes and shit, and it was like really, it was so clearly like the B version of Anchorman, and so I think that's what I thought these Jackass things would be.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to watch it.
Well, I might now, but that's just what I was going through at the time.
Did you like the one where they get Wee Man to sit on a stool and they have a card thrower and they make him think that he's throwing the cards, but really they're just shocking the stool?
Yeah, the best part is at the end, after he's been shocked by the stool like 100 times, he still thinks it's the card. He thinks they've gotten a card throwing machine.
Where's the fucking card throwing machine, dude?
You know what I would do in this movie, though? There's one thing I would 100% do.
What?
Like, I think I still want to do it. The medicine ball dodgeball in the dark.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of fun.
That seems really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, that would be fun to, like, be in, like, pitch black and then, like, someone throws a medicine ball. Like, to feel that would be interesting.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Another one of Bam's ideas, by the way, he had the one for the one where Wee Man and Preston do the bungee jump together.
Yeah, that was pretty
good.
And
I thought that worked well too.
Yeah, Bam was on point on this one.
You can argue, I think, Bam or Steve-O for the MVP of this one.
I think Steve-O's the guy for this one. Who did you like any of the cameos? Who's your favorite cameo?
Oh, I have something from the Miami Dolphins player, Jason Taylor. The season right during the filming, right after the filming, I guess when they released it, this season coming up, he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Was he in this movie?
He's in the movie. He's in the bungee jump one.
Oh, that's that guy?
Yeah, and then he goes on to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, how about this? It's 2006. Why not get the Oscar winners, the most recent Oscar winners for Best Original Song in this movie?
Yeah. Oh, the 3 6 Mafia?
That's right. 3 6 Mafia shows up for this fucking movie. Juicy J himself.
Yeah, Juicy J paid $200 to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to hit it and quit it, but the mama's so dope he messed around and got addicted.
Wow, I can't imagine that.
That's from his classic verse to Katy Perry's Dark Horse.
Really?
That's right.
Only him?
He has a verse on Dark Horse. He and it's about how hot Katy Perry is, and he says he tried to hit it and quit it, but the mama's so dope he messed around and got addicted.
He went solo?
Oh yeah, Juicy J is the only worthwhile dude from 3 6 after Hustle and Flow.
In the 2.5, they interview them, but it's only 2 of them. I wonder if Juicy J is the one they couldn't get.
Probably, yeah. He's too good for that shit.
I didn't even notice. You have to watch it and let us know.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, very, very exciting to see Juicy J show up in this movie. I'm such a big fan of his from that Katy Perry song. He's the first rapper I can remember that referenced Jeffrey Dahmer.
Wow.
Yeah, he has a line like he's gonna eat her pussy so much, like I'm gonna eat you like I'm Jeffrey Dahmer, like that kind of thing.
Seems like a cheap line.
It is cheap, but what are you gonna do?
There's one called The Gauntlet. Okay.
The challenge?
And well, we're gonna get there because it's one where it's just like Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman and a few other Jackass guys like riding their skateboards, and then people are swinging stuff. It is like a challenge.
It did feel like that, yeah.
Thought that was interesting.
It reminded me of that Survivor challenge, actually.
Yeah, it's like all these shows. They all have versions of this.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I guess so. It's one of the worst ones. Fun.
I guess, but there were a couple good falls. I mean, I love the challenge. I think they should have gotten these Jackass dudes on the challenge. I don't get that. I think Ryan Dunn might be alive today if he was competing on the challenge.
Yeah, possibly. How's CT not dead? CT could have been a Jackass guy.
Yeah, why don't they like do a trade?
Like, we'll give you Aaron and Dave. You give us CT.
Yeah, we'll take Chris Pontius. You can have Devin.
I don't think now. I don't think they're doing now.
Whatever. All right.
We're talking about Terror Taxi, the last one. That's like the big one from this movie, right?
I mean,
I guess we did. We talked about the Super Troopers.
Yeah, I mean that was Jay Chandrasekhar. Well, you think that's like the big? Yeah, I mean, I guess so. That's like the longest part of the movie.
Yeah, and they say I think at the end like this is going to be the big one. Preston, by the way, came up with that idea. Did you know that?
Which part of it? I mean, there's so many moving parts in that one.
Yeah.
The thing where they cut off everyone's pubes and tape it to his face as a beard is so fucking gross. Like, it's grosser. Like, it was gross while they were doing it, and then they like made it into a beard, and then I didn't think it would be as gross in practice, but it kept getting into his mouth.
When she takes it out of that box and starts like first placing it on there, it's disgusting.
And then there was a crab in one of the pubes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the second he hears that there was a crab in one of the pubes, he vomits.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So it started like they were like, all right, how can we get somebody to wear pubes? Or how can we get somebody to eat pubes? I think was how it started. And then I think Preston was like, well, what if we make a beard out of it? And then he was like, well, what if we like get Aaron to make him think he's a terrorist? So he puts a beard on.
I don't love that they're doing a whole Middle Eastern terrorist bit 4 years after 9/11.
Better than if they did it in the first one year after 9/11.
That would have been funny.
That would have been better.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a little played out at this point.
At this point, it's like we know that the real villains are America.
It was Bush. Bush
Yeah,
did it.
for sure.
We all know that.
Yeah, it was an inside job.
Yeah.
Steel beams don't.
I like it.
That. They don't.
I think
like
Terror
that.
Taxi's funny.
All right. Yeah. What did you think of I loved Anaconda Ball Pit. That might have been my favorite.
I thought that one was like that one kind of scared me whenever it's revealed they have that tape around their wrists. I'm like, damn, this is like legit dangerous. If it bit their wrist, they would just bleed out. That is so scary.
Dude, Johnny Knoxville was bleeding
Yeah.
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I love Johnny Knoxville. You're right. He is so good in all these. He's not my MVP though.
He's like one of the greatest examples of humanity. Like honestly, if
Wow.
no, seriously. If aliens came down and they were like, give us your 10 best, Johnny Knoxville would be one of the 10. I would.
Andy
choose.
Samberg, I would submit.
What?
You know, like Andy Samberg.
No,
Oh,
I do, but I don't think he'd be like the 10.
Can I tell you something else about Knoxville? They were like, it started out with him. He like created this video for Tremaine, and he was like, I'm gonna practice like dangerous equipment on myself, right? And then he like sent that to him, and there was like more stuff of him being a stuntman, and he was gonna get a show on SNL. The SNL offered him a show. He was like, no, I want to do it with my friends and be
That's
like more
bullshit.
creative. And
Wherever you read that, that's spurious. That never happened.
I've heard that many times. You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that for 1 second. SNL never wanted to work with Johnny Knoxville.
I heard they like offered him like a little section on the show.
You think Saturday Night Live, they were like, we're not going to cast you as a cast member. What we're going to do is give you 10 minutes every week on Saturday Night Live to do anything you want to do, just to this random guy from a skate video? Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't think it was one video. I think he made more after that. I think it was
It's
like
bullshit. I don't believe that for a second.
All right. Well, I'm telling
Was that
you.
in the oral history?
No, that was something else.
Of course it wasn't.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lie.
Okay. All right.
I hate shit like that. People love to just make the. Everyone was supposed to be on SNL. Anyone who gets famous that ever auditioned for SNL was supposed to be on SNL. Oh, Melissa McCarthy, she almost got cast. Jim Carrey, he almost. Fuck you.
All right. Do you like the final performance at the end? They sing a song.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Busby Berkeley musical. I kind of dug that. Yeah, it's shot well. I thought Jeff Tremaine did a really good job at the second one, kind of playing with different styles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so we get the Busby Berkeley musical montage. It's not the best song in the movie because when they're shaving their pubes, they play a Pavement song, Cut Your Hair.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And then Luke Wilson shows up for no reason.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I don't know if you saw that.
I actually noticed his name because he shows up for the first time during the closing credits. And during the closing credits, before you ever see him, he's in the thank yous. And I was like, why are they thanking Luke Wilson?
Wow.
And then seconds later, he shows up.
That's how I brought up sorry to bring up Ghostbusters Afterlife again, but in that movie it says what's her name?
Podcast?
No, alien.
Dead Harold Ramos?
No, come on. She's an alien.
Sigourney Weaver.
It says Sigourney Weaver, and I was like, what the fuck? Sigourney Weaver's not in this. Boom! Stinger, Sigourney Weaver. I was like, oh, clever. Good job.
Yeah, man.
Kind of like this.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let's reference it
film.
more. Let's bring it up more often on the show. It's getting a sequel. We're going to have to see it.
Yeah.
I hope Podcast gets a love interest.
Remember Finn Wolfhard? Holy shit.
Yeah, bro. Guy's good.
I hope he's not acting in 10 years.
None of them are going to be.
Not even Millie Bobby Brown.
No, she will be. She'll be fine. She'll always be fine because there's perverts. But none of those boys, like none of them can act. Noah Schnapp? Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of here.
No way. No way. He's in Hubie, though. We love Hubie.
We don't love him in Hubie.
Yeah, he might have been. No, I think you hate the girl more.
Yeah, I hate the girl more. But that's just because I prefer men. But what's that's not true. I'm only slightly misogynistic. Hey, what are we talking about?
Jackass.
Oh yeah,
Luke Wilson.
yeah, Luke Wilson.
I give it a 4. What do you give it?
Also a 4.
Yeah, really funny. I put little stars next to the ones I like. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. In the first one, I had 5.
I just write down everything I like.
11.
But I
I have
wrote down
11
so
here.
much stuff for this one.
11 that I really like.
Tire race. I wrote that down. I would do that too.
I didn't like that one that much. That was kind of bland.
I think it was bland, but it looked fun. Like, I think this is also a challenge in the challenge. Do you remember there being a challenge in the challenge where they have to go across like a football field in a tire?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what this reminded me of, and I remember watching that, thinking I wanted to do it. Now I want to do it again. Maybe I just want to get my ass in a tire. Someone,
Yeah, it sounds like it.
if someone's ever in New York
And you have a tire.
and you have a tire and
D-Train.
you know of a hill, I'll do that.
What if there's no hill, but they just like push you along, like down the sidewalk,
Nah, that doesn't sound as fun.
like around the block?
No, because then like people in the city will be like gawking at you. I don't want that. I just drop me down a hill.
All right.
There could be a wall under the hill. I don't even care.
Wow.
Because
Record it.
you'll bounce.
All right.
I mean, you can record it if you want to, but I will do that even if you don't record it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't record
I will
it.
happily do tire race. I will happily do dark medicine ball dodgeball. If anyone wants to do any of that shit with me, I'm down.
What about the rake jump?
What's that?
It's where Steve-O jumped on a rake and hit him in the face.
Well, yeah. I thought he was just trying to do the Sideshow Bob thing. That's what it reminded me of. The Simpsons.
What about the fire hose rodeo?
Well, I like anything with a fire hose. They use fire hose as well in these Jackass movies. They're so strong.
Really?
Yeah.
Only one time, I thought.
I feel like they spray people with it a few times. They do it during the Busby Berkeley thing in the closing credits too.
Okay, there's one where Knoxville's just like standing still and then water comes and rushes at him.
Yeah.
That might be in the first one.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good. He goes flying. He like disappears from the.
I
from the
loved
frame.
after that they walk up to him and he's like, "How did it look?" I love that. That's his first reaction.
That's so Johnny. I love Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, me too.
One of our finest humans.
All right, my MVP. I'm gonna go with Steve-O also.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Steve-O the one this time.
Mm-hmm.
And my LVP. Who's it gonna? Are you really gonna go Spike Jonze?
No, I'm not. Who are you gonna go with?
I don't know. There's so many good ones.
I hate to do it because I went with Party Boy in the last one, but I'm gonna go with Chris Pontius again because I wrote down what he does in this one. He does the puppet show where his dick is a mouse,
That's
which
good.
is pretty funny.
That's good.
But then he's the devil where he gets launched out of the ground, which is not that good.
I thought that was
Right.
pretty good.
I don't know. And then he barely drinks the horse semen.
He drinks enough of it, more than I would.
He barely tasted it though. You could also go Ryan Dunn. I feel like he's barely in this movie.
Yeah, I can't speak ill of the dead. I might go
Yeah, that's why I didn't
Pontius
go.
again. You made a good point about that cum shit.
Should have chugged it.
Should have chugged it. Hey, Tom Green would have. Tom Green was constantly chugging horse cum.
Steve-O would have chugged it. Why didn't Steve-O do it? Might not have been there that day.
I agree, man. You're right. He's too timid. He's not jackassy enough.
He doesn't care about like the fame and stuff, I feel like, as much.
Yeah, I want people to hurt themselves for my pleasure.
Did we talk about Steve-O's tattoo on his back?
No, I forgot that was from the movie because
Yeah,
I
me
know
too.
that he has that in real life.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like you should get one like that.
Of myself?
Of yourself, yeah.
I
Or
would
Steve-O.
I
whatever.
would be open to someone coming up with a stupid tattoo for me to get, but I wouldn't want it to be like my face.
Okay. What about Bam's face?
That would be crazy to get one of the Jackass guys' faces tattooed. I would get like someone's face tattooed on me maybe, but that would be crazy.
What about Spike Jonze? As Gloria, that would be kind of
No,
funny.
that would be crazy. But I would do that maybe. Like if someone wanted me to get like Spike Jonze's face on my ass, I would do that.
Wow. All right. What about that Dick brand as a tattoo?
I bet you people have that. I bet you there's Jackass fans that have that tattooed on them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just like a normal dick, and then they have to describe like, well, in Jackass Number 2, they branded Bam, and this is the exact shape
Yeah,
of it.
but nerdy fans love to explain their tattoos to people.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
Yeah. Here, I'm looking up Jackass tattoos. A lot of people have just the logo, I see. And that's
Yeah.
good. It is a good logo. That skull with the crutches.
Crutches, yeah.
Yeah, that's clever.
What the Dick House logo?
I
There's that
haven't
chicken.
seen that as much. Some people have just like Jackass, the word Jackass in lowercase letters.
There's not much. Yeah, there's not really like iconography. right?
Nobody's
Is that
going to
the
use
word?
that dick, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see any. I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Steve-O has look here. Steve-O played tic-tac-toe with somebody. And that guy got the game of tic-tac-toe that he played with Steve-O tattooed on him.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, how about that?
All right, I like that. Where did he meet him where he was willing to play tic-tac-toe with him?
Did you know that Steve-O has a tattoo on his arm of just a receipt from McDonald's?
What? That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
I just found that. Yeah.
What can you see it? What did he order?
It's a lot of stuff. It's got like the whole like location and the phone number and the logo.
What the hell?
It's got McDonald's.com on it, and it says he's got a cola, a cheeseburger, Happy Meal, some toppings on the cheeseburger, and a flurry.
Does he take anything off the cheeseburger?
No, just extra shit. No, it's he's adding stuff to it.
So just a generic. It wasn't like significant meal or anything. Just generic.
No, I think it's just like a random McDonald's receipt.
What a thought that someone has to have. I'm gonna get this tattooed on me.
I think it might be a German McDonald's too, because at the bottom it says Willkommen.
All right, that's kind of cool then.
Oh, Steve-O. All right, so that's Jackass. Next week on the show, we'll cover Jackass 3D, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa.
Yep.
Thank you. And Jackass Forever.
Yep.
And that'll be great. I'm looking forward
Do you
to
think
watching
Jackass
all three of those.
Forever will be better or worse than Wakanda Forever?
Oh my God, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I did watch Wakanda Forever. I had mixed feelings on it. I did like it for the most part. I think it's probably like expectations are probably easier met for Jackass.
They're having to film around
than having to film
a
around
death?
a beloved actor's death. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. The similarities are crazy.
Mhm.
If Letitia Wright didn't come back because of COVID, it would have been like Bam not being able to get sober.
I think there's nobody in Jackass Forever dumber than Letitia Wright.
In which one, Jackass
Not
Forever?
a single. There's not a single person you'll see on screen in Jackass Forever that is a
We don't know
stupider
the new
person in
people.
real life than Letitia Wright.
There's like a person called like Poopy or something like that.
Probably smarter than Letitia Wright.
All right, we'll see.
Mm.
We'll see about that. Remember that joke in the first Black Panther when she's like looks at his shoes and she says, "What are those?" You remember that?
It's so funny because
That great meme.
that whole character, like her whole thing is like she's the smartest in Wakanda, and I'm just watching going like secretly you're the dumbest person in the entire cast.
Yeah. All right. Well, these were fun. Probably the most weird episode we've ever done. It's just we're just like, all right, this one was good. This bit was good. This bit was good.
Well, I mean, I knew that's what was going to happen. Part of the reason we never covered. I know I said most of the reason we haven't covered stuff on the show is because Henry didn't want to, but like I always wondered what the fuck we'd talk about with Jackass, like because it's not a real movie. Like you're just going to be going through it, but I do think like we were able to put it into context and sort of discuss what was going on back then. This was all right.